Hello, it's Sarah from Hooked on High Vibes. Hope you're all having a beautiful day. I am today speaking about something that I'm very passionate about, which I feel has kept coming up in the last couple of weeks with people I've talked to and myself, and people shifting old belief systems. And it's really about the busyness of life, the hustle and bustle of the modern day, the 9 to 5 job, the money, the striving, the busyness. It's really all about that and how the old way of being, or the way that we feel like we should be living, is actually very detrimental to our own health and our our peace of mind, really. So it really shifts us out of balance if we follow something that doesn't feel good for us. And this has definitely come up for me in the last couple of weeks, and really looking at the way that I work, with learning and creating, and feeling guilty when feel like I'm not doing enough or fast enough or doing enough in my day. And I think this is really common, and we can be rushing around feeling like we have to live our lives in a certain way, and if we don't, then we feel guilty or we blame ourselves, or we're ashamed. It's just really negative feelings that come around from feeling like we have to live a certain way. And usually these ways they're not they're not from our heart. They're not ways that we actually truly want to live. They're ways that we've been told to live, or we feel like we should live to prove ourselves. Or yeah, so this has come up for me, especially with my own work. And when I have that like voice in my head telling me that I'm not producing enough work, or I am very focused on self-care. For me, I know that I have to have self-care in my life for a balance. The self-care is the thing that brings me joy and happiness, and creativity and work is always also part of that, but you need a balance. And I certainly feel like sometimes I can get drawn into my old belief systems that have come from society, which were kind of programmed with all around us, is the busyness. We should be busy, we should be doing this and this and this, and usually what falls away is our self-care. So I definitely feel like when I'm taking that time for me, I can hear that voice saying, oh my God, have you got time to take this time out of your day for meditation and yoga? Have you got time to do this walk? And for me, that voice is not always there, but it's sometimes there, and I'm aware of it. And it's like, I think it's an ongoing journey and lesson to really realize that that is an illusion. It's not true. It's your ego. It's someone else's beliefs. It's society's rules. And I really feel like we're being drawn to live in another way, a way that is about our heart and soul. And I think once we become aware of that, there are a lot of emotions that come up because we're shifting a way of being that we've learned for such a long time. And I think we're really being pushed into a different way. And that is a way that follows our own ebb and flow of our own bodies. I think that everyone works in a different speed. Like, I remember when I was younger, I used to maybe get called relaxed or lazy, and I feel like that is part of my, that's a label, but I am quite a slow. I'm not like someone who gets loads done. I'm not like that, and if I try and push myself to be like that, it feels really wrong, and I get unbalanced, and I can get really stressed. And I always used to think that I was the one that wasn't, I wasn't right, that I should be more productive, or I should be doing more. And those ways of thinking can really make us feel guilty about being who we are. And I think over the years, really looking into following the heart and soul, that part of me is part of me. And I think most people have that part of them which they really need to slow down and take more time for themselves. And the only reason that we feel like we should be doing more is usually because we're told to, and it's not because we want to or that feels right for us. So I really think that I speak to a lot of people that have adrenal fatigue, that are feeling tired and stressed and depressed, and I think this is because they're living their lives in a way that isn't working for them and it's not right for them, and it's a way that we've been told to live. And I think that that is breaking down, and I think a lot of people are realizing that for true health and happiness and to be fulfilled, that they need to take that time for them and actually work out what their pace is in life and what they want to do and how they want to do it. So what I'm really saying is to make sure in your day, when you start to feel some emotions that you would label as negative, so if you're starting to feel fear, or especially guilt and blame, like really question those emotions. Are they coming really from you or on what society said that you should be doing? If you need to take time out for yourself in the day, which I'm 100% for, and more than once in the day, I think it needs to be like broken down, but you really need to know that that's okay. The guilt and the message that you haven't got time or you shouldn't be doing it, that's an illusion. We really need to get back into connection with our bodies and what we need and what we want. And I think what we want is really important. I think if we're depressed, we're going against what we want. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you're going at a pace maybe that it's too fast for you, or because you're going so fast, you've actually gone into overwhelm and then procrastination, so you're not actually doing anything. So the fast pace of life can actually make us slow down. So if we bring ourselves back to the way that we want to, what life that we want to work at, the pace that works for us, our own energy bodies, our own heart and soul and mind, then we're going to be more productive, but in a way that works for us. And I just think it's a really important message to remind people and share, because I know that I have to catch myself all the time realizing that I'm maybe working at a pace that doesn't actually work for me, and it's because I'm thinking I should, and then I have to bring myself back and remind myself that that isn't truly living for me. And I'm very passionate about living for the sake of actually really living instead of existing and following someone else's rules and not being happy. So yes, I just want to say that if you're feeling lazy or relaxed or very laid back, and maybe you might be labelling yourself as that not being right, I think it's really getting in touch with those feelings that are truly us, and taking society's labels of lazy and relaxed and slow. Or even if you are someone who works really, really fast and feels like you need to be doing something all day, to look at that as well and see if that is actually serving you, and if that is coming from you, or is it coming from a belief system that you feel like you should be like that. And to really take time in the day for you to give yourself some love and care, and to slow down and be silent. And I think all of those things are things that are much needed, and I feel like we're being pushed by the energy of the world and the universe and planetaries, all really pushing us to work from that place of our heart and soul. So if you're feeling a bit wobbly around this area, I think it's coming up for a lot of us. So to know that it's okay, and we are coming into a different way of living, and I think that it is a more relaxed way of living, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it can bring up a lot of old belief systems and fears, and I think that's what we need to kind of work through, to know that that's an old illusion now and it's going to be a different way, and that actually that way is going to serve us a lot better, and we're going to be a lot happier as human beings, following what is naturally our ebb and flow. Really, it's getting back into connection with the way that our minds and bodies really want to live, instead of how we feel like we should be living or how we're being told to live. So I just wanted to bring some awareness around that and see if that's coming up for you and what you feel about that, and if you're um, experiencing any emotions around that at the moment. Because from what I can hear, it seems to be quite a common theme at the moment. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and your journey and your story as well. And sending you lots of love, and I'll be back again soon. Bye.